Hello. Can you hear me? It's okay. I'm Dominique. I'm working on a specific project which is dedicated to small businesses, and so it's a good continuum vis-à-vis to the previous presentation. I will share with you an experience of a project to address small companies, and we will discuss where we have gone and how. So the idea of facilitating Tryton for small companies or single users led us to consider groups of users, because we couldn't deliver services, replicate service for any user at an affordable price. So we perceive that grouping customers in communities is a way to invest in starting enablers and to address this kind of market. This is what I will describe. So it is grouping people by industry, kind of business, and grouping small companies. What we wanted to solve, I think it's close to what was explained before. Integration of custom solutions is a difficult job. Reselling the same solution to another customer is usually difficult. We all dream, when we have done something, to replicate it for another customer. But the problem is that the other customer usually doesn't fit with what we have developed for the first one. So it becomes to be expensive for the customer. And the idea is to do the opposite. It is to identify the different customers and then to design a product which would fit approximately the need of all these customers. Consider the customers before the product, before the solution. So we can invest in global services for all this population. And at an affordable price. Affordable price is something very, very low for these companies. So this is the content of the first part, how to start. So we identified a potential group of small companies which might form a community. Not everybody is able to connect. You have some bad people who you know immediately that they will never join a group. And you will never work for them. So select the correct profile and some reasons to join a group, to mutualize the effort. Point is important, get the job explained. You have to talk to them deeply about the constraints. Imagine a dedicated and attractive product based on Tryton. Up to now, we have developed nothing, okay? We imagine a product. And we gave a name to this product and described its environment. How to implement? Focus only on the most important requirement. The reason why they will join the group. Make the product easy to start with. Make the job of service providers easy. Don't forget prescribers and service providers in this picture. Make the product widely available. Set appropriate services to users. Organize the community of your users. Okay? So let's go into detail about that. Target a group of small companies. We have chosen small distilleries. Distillers are a new kind of business in France, emerging. We have today about 300, 400 independent distillers, and it is growing by 40, 50% a year right now. It's a new kind of job with a good growing trend. Several hundred of small and tens new every year. The feeling of sharing an art. This is very strange. They are all independent, but they feel like a part of a global art of distillery. Like two painters will speak painting, two distillers talk distillery, okay? And they feel in a single job, a single kind of job. So we admitted that it was a good opportunity. What is a still? We call that in French alambic. I don't know in your different languages. You put fruits in that part, you boil it, and then you get alcohol, okay? And you sell it, and well, it's quite wonderful what they are doing. It's a similar, we have beer breweries, independent beer makers during the last 10 years who grow also very fast. Well, today we have 10,000 beer makers in France, for example. And this is similar to that, local beer and now local spirits. For example, a good complement for someone who has trees and fruits to sell directly, locally to his neighbors and to tourists and so on. Second point is learn the job. It was the biggest part of the project. We had to spend a lot of time interviewing these people. We had deep meetings, online meetings with about 30 of them. Several were involved in validation of all our project and all our specifications. So let's say 18 months for that, because we are not fast guys. We have to get explained a lot, and to read the constraints, the administrative constraints from the customs, and to make our own ideas of what it is about. But the good point is visiting your visitors. Don't forget to visit your visitors. Well, okay, no. If you visit these customers, let me know, I will go with you. The other point is to imagine the solution. You don't have it, you are not building it, but you have to imagine a product which is both a subset of the standard Tryton and a complementary function to address the specific need, which is not mandatory. You can have a group of customers who has no specific requirement. In this case, we had a specific requirement about alcohol management in the production. The solution is also identified by its operation context, SaaS availability, service to users, and community organization. You have to talk to these distillers in very practical words, how much it will cost, how difficult it will be to start, how difficult it will be to ask questions to support, and so on and so on. How difficult it is to get training by the trainers who teach them about the job of distillery. all that has to be included in the DISTILIBRE solution. So I had an example of that. This was our call for interest. Smaller. Okay, exactly the same as if you had the product on stage. You try to sell it before you build it. So you can judge the reaction of your potential customers. Is it enough? Is it not? Well, this is the way we perceived ourselves in February 2022. So, and we had, at that date, a precise description of what we would include in the product, the services we would build on the product, and the way the community of the users would act, the global picture, before the first line of code. Because we need it, and we need it for a precise reason. We need it for a precise reason, is that we have to fall in love with our product. The first, we have to get convinced ourselves that it's good, and to be proud of our product, we have to mention the key points, the good advantages of this future product. So the name is a point you have to fix first. Then the next task is to focus on the key function, the reason why distillers will adopt your product. Don't talk about all the possibilities of the product. They are not looking for accounting. They are not looking for sales. They are looking to fulfill the administrative requirements about alcohol production. And there is no solution on the market for that. So they will replace the Excel spreadsheet, which is a nightmare for them, and use Tryton to do that. Of course, the first day, when they're trying to use Tryton to record the operations of production involving alcohol, they ask, how do I relate that to a supplier command? How do I relate that to a customer requirement? Okay, but it comes in a second pace when they have already the fingers in the machine. Okay. We have also to make the product easy to start with. The same problem as it was mentioned. First of all, you are looking for a product to manage material for administration. This is a product that does that, full stop. And if you try to encode in this product your daily operations, these are the papers, the formulas, and the pen to write what you are doing during the day. I am taking alcohol here, and I'm pouring it into this other container. I write it, okay? I am doing that in this still. I'm putting fire, and I get some alcohol there, and I write it on the paper. At the end of the day, you go to your desk, and you encode these lines. It is the first time you use Tryton 2 hours later, if you didn't encode the full day, you will drop the product. This is the idea. So you have to be very effective on that point. But then, of course, the customer will ask, well, it's better than my Excel spreadsheet, yes. But what can I do next with this product? And, of course, we can enable at that time sales, purchase, other movements of stock and whatever. And then we go on. At the end of the year, probably the customer will ask for accounting. But accounting has to be there the first day if we want the accounting to be correct at the last day of the year. So we put the accounting in place automatically when the user starts, but we don't talk about that. Accounting is just silently feeding the files. Okay? We build pre-filled welcome database. With the, when he opened it, he gets automatically his company inside the system. He gets the administrative links with his region in his party list, and a few things to help him to have a good structure of his work and to limit the mistakes, to help him to do the right thing in the right order. Of course, we do not like writing doc, but maybe it can change. And we imagine a pretty doc-less solution for the first start of the customer. But of course, doc is never bad. We include all the service providers. When people start this business, they get trained by trainers. And we include these trainers and we say, well, trainers, we have a wonderful tool for you. We add fictive data and we have a reference distillery for supporting your training sessions. So when you teach how to document the way you produce alcohol, you can use for free our services, so your users know exactly how to start with that service when they go on, when they switch their business on. And again, for legal consultants who help these distillers to fulfill their requirements vis-à-vis to the administration, and even the custom administration is interested in talking about this referential data of a fictive distillery to have the same vocabulary to understand, to get understood by distillers and to have a common knowledge. DISTILIBRE is one click away. It means that we have a tool to provision it, and if you we have that, which is a null tool that we have done. So this is the server of the project right now. It is, and we have our different distillers who have services, and we have new service form. In this form, we add today the prefix of the name of the customer, the production, the version, and the company name of the customer. And with that, we will add also the address of the customer, so we can pick the right links to the administration and few other things. So when we validate that, we automatically have a service which comes in the next minute fully fulfilled with these operational data to start encoding operations in alcohol productions. I have to understand how to close that because I don't have the full picture on my desktop. Then last points I wanted to share with you. Well, at low cost, it means that it's for us it's quite free if we have a new customer, so we can fully spread over all the population of customers the investment we've done for the first one. We said services. Of course, nothing is enough obvious to to be able to be used without any support. And of course, DISTILIBRE is for them vital. For us, we consider that, well, distillery is less important than defense or airspace or whatever. But for them, if they cannot encode the operations, they are not allowed to continue the next day. So for them, it is vital that this product is available and is kept alive for years and maintained and evolves gracefully. And of course, we have a specific attachment to this business. So I think that if distillery stops in France, we will have hard political times in the next period. So it's absolutely harder political times if we don't have any local production of alcohol. The next point is, the last point is something you can imagine that is not fully satisfying. A group needs tools to exchange and make solutions, decision about the solution and so on. Crowdfunding is a way to multi. But to be honest, it is the point where we are really bad. I said, well, improvement zone, okay, we have a great margin of improvement, okay, so because we do not know how to manage a community. But we hope the community will self-manage. Last, we want to give the key to the community. We don't want to keep the business for ourselves. Why? Because we have no resources to manage this community by ourselves if we go to several communities. So the idea is to give the keys of the truck to the people of the community and to react only as service providers to this community. Of course, the next step is to identify a new community, for example, caritative business, for example, services planning. We have also possibilities about associations, things like this. If you have other center of interest, for example, you know, in France we have a specific number for homeless people. You call the 115, and if you are lucky, you get a room for the night. Okay, but the problem is that they receive the bills from the hostels, and they are never able to reconciliate and to match the bill with the request. And they have this problem. So typically for one center of the 115, it costs, but we have about 100 of centers of 115, and many of them would like to see a solution to be developed And this is typically something in which they would be happy to create a community of 115 call centers in France. So the team, I have a word about the team. Artistic director is Jean Martial. He is in Nantes in France. The don't forget what a computer can do man is Christophe. Okay. The don't forget what Tryton shouldn't do man is Cédric. But he is also the piece of cake man. He does the final job. I said 18 months in learning what is to be done, and 2 weeks to code it into Tryton. Okay, he's the man who is able to do that. And the pom-pom girl manager is talking to you right now. Okay, do you have some questions about this presentation?
First, So first my concretes to serve distilleries. I visited one too, and actually we got a request about 3 months ago or so. I visited, and it was a very nice experience. But the customs are driving those little small distilleries nuts. There are special rooms, and in Germany the financial authorities act very local from one place to the others. It's very personal to keep those alcoholic stuff numbered and stored very correctly. So my question is, you have this problem solved for whole of France?
The starting point is the same, but the evolution, I don't know. The evolution is that up to now, customs were used to big alcohol makers. So they addressed great accounts. Now they have these 300, 400 newcomers with no experience.
Yes.
They do all wrong. And the people in the customs don't know more than the distillers. So it is a nightmare for the customs. So this is the reason why they say, if you have a repository with a standard distillery, we will say, this is the rule. This is why they are part of the project.
Yeah, we should talk one-to-one about this. Thanks a lot.
Another question?